variety of concerns. Healthcare, dental care, the criminal justice system, environmental. Mostly it was the concerns of low-income people looking danger in the eye. Economically, they are at the edge, and in this district, they're a majority. This is not going to be an easy time. Every politician wants to be able to assure people that, oh yeah, we'll get through this. But there are some, particularly a guy who was on GAU, for whom I just couldn't tell him that. I couldn't lie to the guy. And the ultimate answer is that I don't know right now that we are not going to kill people with this budget of ours. It was not an easy time answering that. There were a lot of other questions that had to do with you know, our budget, our health care.
A week, she might earn $12,000 a year, or if she's doing well, she's earning $25,000 a year. But her employer isn't paying for health insurance. She can't afford it herself. Her husband, an honest guy working in construction, also isn't getting health insurance through his employer, can't afford it himself. Injures himself on the job, and now he's going to be dependent, or maybe doesn't injure himself on the job, because that would be an L&I claim. But injuring himself anyway, out of work for 6 months, and he's going to be dependent on GAU. So basic health plan, GAU, both in this family of 2. And a month ago, they decided they were ready to have a baby. So she's 1 month pregnant. The immediate need is prenatal care, so that she has a healthy pregnancy. Short-term need is a safe birth for her and the baby. And then long-term, of course, is getting this 4-year-old in that time into school. So we're talking about education. I'm interested in getting these stories to the people who don't have experience with these hardworking folks who take care of our buildings and our apartment buildings, who clean our streets, who take care of our grandkids and our kids, so that they can empathize, since they probably might not relate real well to folks on this end of the spectrum. And if you and I are on the same page, or a lot of others whom I've spoken to might already be on the same page, I need to know who we need to direct these arguments at, so that they can get a clear picture of just how important BHP and GAU are. And I say it that way because even though we can state we know people are going to die without this health care, it is not the same as looking into the eyes of one of the folks that I meet in that clinic as a nurse, who in another scenario might have been complaining for 4 days about a headache. The MHX are in, the blood pressure's fine, the doctor's going to see her, but that's only a 15-minute visit. And in the meantime, as a nurse, I ask her, well, what's going on at home? And she tells me, well, she's been in an abusive relationship for years, and just 4 days ago her husband told her he was going to kill her, and she hasn't been able to sleep and she hasn't been able to eat. So my job as a nurse to get her to the social worker, find safe housing. If he's been the only breadwinner, now we've got to worry about health insurance for her as well. These are the real life stories, and I can see by your face you're already empathizing, and maybe you do know these people, but who do I need to speak to? Who needs to hear these stories? How can you get these stories across the table to the folks who aren't agreeing that we need to save BHP and GAU at any cost?
How we're going to do what we're going to do about college tuition. There are a lot of people in the healthcare field, and they made their presence clear. I think they kind of organized to get out here to make that signal to me, and all I could tell them is, message received. I hear them.